Still fresh off our hike of the Ponta do San Lourenço, Paolo and I drove to Caniçal, a small fishing town, for lunch.
After the Miradouro, we are now in Caniçal, and we're looking for a place to have lunch. It's 1 o'clock.
Caniçal is known for being the oldest parish in Madeira. It is also famous for its religious festa, where on the third weekend of September, fishermen go out to the sea in brightly decorated boats in a procession of Nossa Senhora da Piedade, Our Lady of Mercy. We found a tapas bar by the seawall and ordered lunch. Just a plain tuna fish sandwich and then octopus.
For the king.
Paolo.
Me. The king. I deserve this. I earned it today.
I earned it too, so I'll have some. After lunch, we drove to Porto da Cruz, a coastal village located on the northeast side. But we're cutting through the interior to get to it.
Yeah, we're cutting through the interior, and it's obviously Madeira is very mountainous, so they just make tunnels right through the mountains.
My gosh,
otherwise,
yeah.
you'll never be able to get anywhere.
This one looks like one of the longest we've been inside. One of the most impressive things about Madeira is the network of tunnels that crisscrosses the island, allowing relatively direct access to settlements and towns scattered throughout its land. I read online that Madeira has over 100 tunnels. Were it not for the tunnels that bore underneath the mountains, it would take hours driving to get from one end of the island to the other end. For roads would have to be created to wind around the mountainside. So here we are, Porto da Cruz. The houses in and around the village are surrounded by trellised gardens and farms on the steep hills, irrigated by levadas and growing a variety of fruits and vegetables, including sugarcane still today. As we got closer to the coast, the striking escarpment Peña de Agua, Eagle Rock, looms over the whole valley and the village of Porto da Cruz. With a height of 590 meters, it dominates the surrounding. There is a circular trail that one can use to hike to its summit. The village got its name because the founder of the town marked the harbor with an iron cross. The village is popular with surfers, sunbathers, and hikers. Porto da Cruz has a nice waterfront and small sandy pocket beach. We visited the old sugarcane factory of 1927, now shown as a museum. However, since 1858, a sugarcane mill and rum distillery have always been present. Porto da Cruz Distillery testifies the importance of the sugarcane in Madeira Island. Sugarcane was imported from Sicily by Prince Henry and introduced in Madeira Island in 1425. We then proceeded to walk along the promenade built around the base of the cliff, admiring the views and the flowers along the way. There are public swimming pools below the fort ruins where you can swim with an ocean view. We stopped at one of the seaside hotel's outdoor cafe for a break. Isn't this one of the most scenic places to have tea or coffee? Just taking a coffee and tea break.
And the Atlantic Ocean is right by our side here. You can hear the surf crashing into the rocks.
And it can be very loud. So I don't recommend this place for people to stay at if you have problems with hearing the sea crashing right up against your windows. And it looks like they have some pretty nice, two pretty nice hotels over here. And I'm pretty sure they're not cheap. We have a little coffee.
They were low-rise hotels with balconies facing the ocean, the Atlantic Ocean. This is the bridge that we used to drive into Porto da Cruz, and Paolo noted that there was this cemetery right beside the river, right beside the fast-flowing stream. And you could just imagine that after winter it would be overflowing. So he wasn't quite sure why the cemetery was built beside it. Usually the cemetery is beside the church. This is the church over here. You could see the steeple. This is passion fruit.
I think so.
But we don't know what these are.
They're not dates. As the bell tolls. Oh, you got a banana plantation down there. Look at this. All these plantations.
Banana plantation over here?
Yeah, a little mini banana. Little mini. So these are drier. That means that they're ripe. They're not dates. Is this where palm oil comes from?
I have no idea. Maybe someone will let us know.
Towards the end of the day, we headed back to Funchal. The next day, our plan was to check out the saltwater lava pools at Porto Moniz and maybe take a dip in one. From Funchal, we drove along the coast towards Riberia, Brava, before turning north, heading towards São Vicente.
This highway is going across the island into the interior and then onto the other side of the coast. Look at those mountains.
Look at those. Look at those mountains up there.
Oh, you're right.
Oh my God. How do you get up there? I think these major roads, you probably do the math. I'm pretty sure they have a figure on it. But there's probably just as much tunnel area as there is open road area. Look at that.
We can't imagine how people were able to construct buildings on the mountainside without roads leading up to them. This stretch of road took us from south to north along the interior, providing us with picturesque views of the surrounding mountains and landscapes.
It's amazing, really, isn't it? We have just exited from a tunnel that was 3.1 kilometers. So from the other side of that hill and now into this side, and it's still very hilly, very mountainous.
And we're still going downhill.
Once we reached the coast, we turned left towards Porto Moniz at the northwestern tip of Madeira. Past the small waterfall, Cascada Agua d'Alto directly on the highway, and past Seychelles, which we will visit on another day during our trip. Stay tuned for that episode.
There's a beach down there.
Finally, we were at Porto Moniz, famous for its unique lava pools.
This rock formation looks like it was spewed. I don't know, to me it looks like it was spewed right out of the ocean floor. Like it's not a volcano way up there on top that erupted and the lava came down. This was like spewing right out of the floor. The way the shape of these spires or whatever. Don't know how else to explain it, but they seem to be pushed up. Volcanoes, you generally think of something erupting up in a mountain area, and just everything just flowing down, the lava flowing down. In this particular area over here, looks like this here came from below, and it just and they just got cooled down by the water, and basically just stayed in that shape as it cooled down by the water.
Luckily for us, the pools weren't too crowded, so we decided to take a dip.
It's cold.
It's cold?
Really cold.
Okay, then I won't go in. Whoa! Nothing natural or volcanic about this. The water's cold.
It's a good day because the sun is shining.
Yeah.
So it'll keep us fairly warm.
Allora, Francesca. We made it.
Look at the waterfall.
Oh, look, it's right here. Look at it right here. It's pretty cool. I mean, come over here. It's pretty ragged. It's very slippery in some areas. The rocks are very very sharp. You got to be careful so you don't injure yourself. It's best to bring actually some sort of surf shoes to this area in order for you to go into the water.
Porto Moniz is surrounded by mountains, so after the pool, we drove to a couple of viewpoints high above the town.
400 meters, sharp left.
Sharp left is like towards the ocean over there. That's a cliff.
To get this view, the route followed the switchback roads climbing up on the mountains, but it was worth the effort. We continued westward towards the northwest coast, driving through the town of Santa Maria Madalena. But we then took a side road that redirected us back to the northern coast.
Caminho da fazenda. Vamos para a fazenda, pá. Look at these fresh vegetables. Wow. This is amazing.
Yeah, there's a road down there.
I mean, there's a road that continues down. But... hopefully they did put in some sort of a turnaround area. I see some small turnarounds at each lot entrance.
We were just driving around after Porto Moniz, and we decided to drive up to the top of the mountains, and we were just taking some of the local roads and found ourselves at this junction here. What I find very interesting is that over on the other side of this road you have the Atlantic Ocean. We are essentially on top of a cliff looking out over the Atlantic Ocean.
We just had to stop and take in the stunning views, compare the contrast of the blues of the Atlantic Ocean and the verdant greenery of the land. Join us for the next episode as we continued on the northwest coast towards the Achadas the cruise cable car that descends to the abandoned village of Faja da Cabrera Nova. checked out another lookout point at the Miradouro de Boa Morte, and chased the sunset at Madalena do Mar in the south coast. If you haven't subscribed yet, please tap the subscribe button and the bell to be notified of the next episode. And thank you for watching. Have a great day.